Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Talking Freight, always brought to you by Ceresys, a third-party logistics company focusing in on transportation management solutions, including our rater and our services. In today's Talking Freight episode, we finalize and are very sad to see it go, our awesome trends series. Today, in Talking Freight, we'll specifically address the freight and trucking trends to look out for in the next 12 months. The e-commerce market is expanding. E-commerce passed $2 trillion, that's a lot of money, in 2017, with sales expected to pass $3 trillion by 2020. Although this sounds great for most industries, it represents a major problem for the freight trucking industry. As a result, shippers across the globe are looking for ways to keep up with competition, and these trends in trucking and freight reflect a few of the key ways shippers, 3PLs, and truckers will respond in 2018. All right, so let's talk some freight. The first trend, freight forwarding and freight in general, will undergo a digital transformation. Freight forwarders will have great opportunities in 2018 to take advantage of the increased demand on shippers. Decreasing profit margins and the demand for scalable technology will result in more carriers using digital channels to sell product directly to shippers. Freight forwarders and service providers will interact with customers online and automate back-office procedures to reduce delivery delays and associated costs. Second, freight and trucking rates are sure to change. Freight and trucking rates will reach new heights in 2018 as the truck driver shortage continues to worsen, putting even more pressure on the already fully loaded capacity crunch. Compounding this problem, diesel costs are expected to increase as well, and consumers are demanding low-priced products and, unfortunately, zero-cost shipping. Moreover, consumers want the product here yesterday, not tomorrow, and consequently, shippers are faced with paying higher freight rates to access limited capacity. Our third trend, and it's all about the ELD mandate. Truckers will respond because it's now in effect. The electronic logging device, or ELD mandate, is now in effect and one of the bigger trends in freight and trucking for 2018. The ELD mandate will dramatically reduce the number of hours truckers can drive. Now, although truckers have been advised for a number of years to reduce driving hours and take frequent breaks, the ELD mandate effectively eliminates the missing entries in the tracking log. Failure to adhere to hours of service regulations as exhibited within each truck's ELD could result in stiff penalties and fines against the trucker, carrier, and even shippers. Similarly, this equates to lower wages for truckers, so they will demand higher wages or look for alternative employers. The fourth trend, it's all about the last mile, and it's quickly rising in the ranks of trends in trucking and freight. Long-haul trucking traditionally was a pickup and then offload at a distribution center or customer location, but increasing pressure for more last-mile deliveries will put pressure on carriers to offer more services beyond traditional pickup and offload practices. How will carriers offer these services to keep up with a changing market? Well, many will partner with last-mile carriers who specialize in this service. In fact, Ceresys ourselves is now working with both traditional LTL carriers who then hand off the last mile to a specialist. Our shippers are now able to book traditional shipments and last-mile shipments, selecting options such as room of service in order to achieve a last-mile shipment efficiently. The fifth trend, it's the Uberization, oh that word again, of freight will redefine vendor freight management. The Uberization of freight will have additional impacts on tracking for vendors too. Vendors can no longer rely on shippers for carrier selection, preferences, and pricing, yet shippers will still require adherence to the inbound freight routing guide. Vendors that have not previously considered Uber-like technologies for freight transportation will need to explore and select truck-sharing providers within the coming year. Meanwhile, platooning technology, or turning a series of trucks into a train-like snake on the road, reduces the space between drivers and maximizing fuel efficiency is already on the horizon. Our sixth trend, mobile technology becomes a cornerstone of the cab. Speaking of Uber and other sharing apps, mobile technology will be central to trends in trucking and freight in 2018. Truckers will begin using more technology in the cab. This will reduce delays associated with routing while reducing the amount of work required by truckers. Do not think about driving itself, but instead, consider the costs associated with truckers for filling out endless stacks of paperwork. Automating the process will reduce the number of time drivers spend waiting at yard gates for unloading or loading or deadhead. Through mobile technology, drivers can receive real-time updates, avoid accidental violation of hours of service requirements, monitor fuel costs, and track maintenance and simplify other processes along the way. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Talking Freight. We hope you loved it. We love putting it on, and we love when you watch. So, we don't want you to miss a single video. How can you do that, you ask? It's simple. Subscribe to us, and then hit that bell icon. What happens next? You get a notification when we publish every Friday. Hey, we have a tip as well. Follow us on social media. We love to tweet. You tweet, we all tweet. It'll be cool. And, as always, we would love for you to subscribe to our blog. Again, this is a great way to get our award-winning content. We're gonna give you a lot of information on the industry beyond just freight, so go to Cerasis.com. What happens? Scroll down and this box will come up, hit you in your email, we'll add you to our list. Don't worry, we'll only send you the best and brightest. No spam here. We hope you enjoyed this week. Have a good one. See you next Friday.